Hi, and welcome to Getting a Great Start Online. So, you've signed up for an online, web-enhanced, or hybrid course at West Hills. Now what? This short video will tell you what you need to do and how you need to do it to be successful in any online environment. Now, before we get started, it's important to remember that an online classroom is still a classroom. You have your fellow students, your instructor, and all the things you'll be required to learn. The classroom may be very diverse. Different genders, ages, races, cultures, and locations. Because the classroom is online, you may have some classmates who live down the street, and some who live across the country. And to this mix we add unique and varied learning styles, abilities, and levels. You will need to learn about your instructor's teaching style, who they are, and where they come from to get the most out of your class. You need to practice time management and learn to adjust to the online classroom. Since there is no set class time, it is up to you to be responsible for coming to class and getting your assignments done. Cyberspace can also be an intense place. Think about how emotional the comments of YouTube videos can get. And the more time you spend in the online classroom, the quicker you will adjust to the new format. You need to create folders to stay organized. Start this on day 1. Have separate folders for all instructor email correspondence, discussion board posts and reply materials, documented outside source materials. For example, if you save an article on carbohydrates from a newspaper, make sure you get all the material you need to cite it properly later on. And just so you know, Coach Wright really likes MLA formatting. Now, Coach Wright has been teaching online courses for years. So here's a list of real student suggestions from the past 6 years on the top 10 hit list for getting a great start online. Point number 1. Students say that you should print out 2 hard copies of the syllabus and descriptive course outline. Throughout the course, Coach Wright might make small changes to the requirements, assignments, grading, or syllabus, and you should be ready to document those. Point 2. Like we mentioned earlier, you need to log on to this online class at least 5 times per week. Students say that each time you log on, you should always check the home page, announcements, and assignments. Make it a routine to check these pages each time you log on. It's important to remember that Canvas is a smart software. It can track when you log on, what pages you click on, how long you spend on each page, the browsers you have open during class, etc. Canvas tracks everything automatically, so don't do anything that you wouldn't want your instructor to know about. Point 3. Students say check your My West Hills email at least 4 times per week. This is how Coach Wright will send critical class information to you. Point 4. Coach Wright will not answer any emails that do not have your last name and the course section number in the subject line. It's his responsibility to stay organized too, so help him out. Students say this isn't a joke, so take it seriously. This is part of your very first check-in assignment, so you should already be familiar with this idea. Point 5. Coach Wright has 48 hours after you complete an assignment until he posts the final grade. This gives him time to review your work and make sure you get as much credit as possible. Students say that sometimes it's easy to forget this when you want to see your grade immediately, so just remember the 48-hour rule. Also remember that when you communicate with another student or with Coach Wright, you should be tolerant and not demanding. It is easier to have disagreements online because you cannot see another person's body language and you don't always know how comfortable they are writing in English. Give your classmates and the instructor the benefit of the doubt. Point 6. Whenever you write a discussion post or a reply, students say that you should remember to document any outside sources. Don't forget to reply to one student's post each time, and to use a different classmate for each reply. This ensures that you interact with as many different classmates as possible. And don't forget that Coach Wright has software that checks for plagiarism. If you copy-paste pieces of text from an online or offline source, Coach Wright will know. Always give credit for someone else's work. And here's a super student tip. Extra points are available. If you spend the time and effort to do upper-level research and writing, Coach Wright will reward you with extra points. This can really pay off. Point 7. You need to use essay format for the demo presentation, but students also say that it's important to pizzazz up your presentation with clip art, graphs, photos, etc. Coach Wright loves interesting presentations. Examples of high-quality work will be sent to your My West Hills email, so you can get some inspiration on how to develop your own rockstar presentation. And don't forget to always include a works cited page in MLA format to document your outside sources. Point 8. Students say it's crucial to remember that Coach Wright will not answer any technology questions once the course begins. So make sure you have a reliable computer and a good power source that you can use every time you need to log on to class. You don't have to use the same machine every time or be in the same place. You just need a steady internet connection. Point 9. Sometimes students don't have the most up-to-date edition of the textbook. This is why former students say you must double-check that the material in your textbook chapter matches the material online. For example, if Quiz 5 online is on the digestive system, but Chapter 5 in your book covers the reproductive system, then do not read Chapter 5 in your textbook. Read the chapter on the digestive system. Also remember that you have 25 minutes for every quiz, and every quiz is random block. This means that Canvas shuffles the questions every time you close and reopen the quiz, so you will never get the same questions as a classmate, or as you did when you started the quiz the first time. Point 10. This is the last hit list point from former students. Remember that both the midterm and the final exam are each 2 hours long. They are a combination of true-false and multiple choice questions, and they are also random block. So again, if you reopen the exam, you will get entirely new questions. That was the hit list. Now there are just 2 more important points to remember. If you have to miss the week's assignments for any reason, you will need a written doctor's excuse, or you will need to talk to Coach Wright directly about your special circumstances. Coach Wright knows that sometimes unavoidable things happen in life, so just make sure to be truthful and let him know when you need help. Then, don't be confused by the letters LDW. They just mean last day to withdraw with a W. West Hills will send an email to your My West Hills account before this date to remind you. Congratulations, you made it! Now there's just one last thing to mention. One of the most important requirements for this class is that you attack learning material with a great attitude. You can make this course fun and enjoyable. All you have to do is show up and put in the effort. Laughing can increase your lifespan, so Coach Wright encourages you to laugh a lot during this course. At him, at yourself, or whatever. Just relax, laugh, remember these hit list points, and you'll be guaranteed to get a great start online. See you in class.